Good morning. Happy Thursday. Welcome to the first class of the day, Total Body Strength. We're going to have a nice workout today. Luckily, the sun is, I think, up right now, but it's foggy here, which is sad, but that's okay. We're still going to have a great workout today. So I'll go ahead and get started explaining everything that we're going to be doing and the circuit and all of that fun stuff. So we are going to do 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest slash transition time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off. We are going to be doing total body today. So we're going to have our dumbbells here. And I do recommend having two sets of dumbbells with you, a heavier one and a lighter one. So you might start off that little heavier one. And as things get harder, you can always drop that weight down. So we're going to start off at the top with bent over rows. So feet are going to be shoulder width apart, slight bend in the knees. Push those hips back into that bottom RDL position, keeping those shoulder blades pulled back. We're going to bring our hands towards our butt and back down. So we're just rowing here, making sure those elbows get in line with our torso there. So that's going to be the first exercise. The lighting seems a little weird today. All right, and then we're gonna go ahead and do some squats after. We're gonna do sumo squats. So we're gonna have a little bit of a wider stance here. Feet are gonna be out, and we're going to squat down, squeeze the glutes, and come back up. So that is gonna be the second thing we're gonna do. And then we're gonna go ahead and do some bicep curl and a shoulder press. So we're gonna curl and press here. So get some nice bicep and shoulder action going on in here. We're gonna do that. And then we're going to do some RDLs, so feet shoulder width apart here, pushing those hips back, bringing the weights all the way down the shins, squeezing the glutes and coming back up. So we're just going to do RDLs, making sure our back is flat, our core is tight. So right now you can see my low back, we're not arching, we're not curving here, staying nice and flat. And then we're going to get on the ground for the last two exercises. We're going to do a little bit more core work here. So we're going to do some dead bugs with that core assist. So dumbbell straight above our head here. And then we're going to alternate extending opposite, not opposite arm, opposite leg, just our legs, goodness. And then exhaling as we come up. And then the last one we'll do is single leg lowering. So you can hold those dumbbells up there if you like. And we're going to keep those feet flexed, lower, exhale, bring that leg up, lower, exhale, bring that leg up. So that is going to be our full circuit for today. Nice and straightforward here. Like I said, we're doing a lot of total body stuff. Try and get this lighting to get a little bit better. All right, so we can go ahead and get started with our warm-up. So we are going to make our way onto the ground on our hands and our knees. And we're going to start off with some quadruped rocking here. So hands below the shoulders, knees a little bit wider than our hips. And we're going to rock back, hold for a second or two, bringing the glutes to the heels, keeping that low back nice and tight. And then we're going to squeeze the glutes and come back up. So if you see, my core is engaged, which you can't really see that part, but you can see that my back is not moving as I squeeze my glutes to come back to that center position. And let's go ahead and do one more rock wherever we're at. Awesome. So from here, we're going to go ahead and tuck those toes, push ourselves up into a nice plank position here. And we're going to do a couple toe taps. We're going to tap the opposite toe, come back down, getting our arms warmed up, getting our core warmed up. We're going to just do this a couple times on each side. Making sure we're exhaling, keeping that core engaged. Let's go ahead and do one more tap on each leg or foot, whatever you want to call it. Lost my glasses there. All right. So once we do about 3 toe taps on each side, we're going to make our way to a half kneeling position, and we're going to do the hip flexor to hamstring stretch. We're going to do 2 on each side. So we're going to tuck our pelvis, squeeze the glute of the knee that's on the ground, push those hips forward, raising that hand above head. Big deep belly breath into the stomach and exhaling, rocking back into that hamstring stretch, toes straight to the ceiling. And on that exhale, bending back forward into that hip flexor stretch. So squeezing that glute of the knee that's on the ground, pushing those hips forward, pelvis is tucked, Inhaling nice and deep into the belly, and exhaling, bending forward towards our toes here. And on that next exhale, we can go ahead and release out of that. Now we're gonna do that same thing on the other leg. So left knee's on the ground now. Hug the pelvis, squeeze the glutes, push those hips forward, reaching that hand overhead. Deep breath into the belly, feeling that front hip expand, and exhaling, rocking back into that hip or hamstring stretch. Trying to get as close to that leg as we can. And we can go ahead and exhale back into hip flexor. Last one. Squeezing that glute. And want to rock back last time into that hamstring stretch. Try and get a little further towards the ground here. And exhaling, we can go ahead and release out of that. And we're going to go ahead and make our way back to our feet. We are going to get started on this circuit. So we're going to go through 3 times, and we have 45 seconds of work, 15 seconds of rest / transition time. So that's what we're going to be doing. So I'm going to get the timer started here. We have bent over rows first. So starting with bent over rows, 45 seconds in 3, 2, 1, and go. So we are bending forward just like an RDL, so feet shoulder width apart. We're pulling the dumbbells towards our bodies. We want those hands to start straight in front and pull back towards the hips and then come back down. So we're bringing the hands towards the glutes, squeezing through our armpits. We're pulling with our back, not with any other muscle groups. We want to have a nice loose grip on the dumbbells, pulling with our pinkies and our ring fingers towards our butt. Feeling the stretch here. 3, 2, 1. All right, we have a few seconds, and then we're doing sumo squats. We're gonna have that nice wide stance, dumbbells in between our legs, and we're gonna do that again for 45 seconds. 3, 2, 1. So nice and wide, knees are still gonna be going towards those toes, running as low as our hips will allow us, and we're squeezing the glutes all the way up. Great job. Really get that nice glute engagement by squeezing all the way up, making sure we're having our knees are staying out. We don't want those knees coming in. We want the knees to be out. That's how we get that glute engagement that we want. So we're being intentful with all of our movements here today. 3, 2, 1. All right, up next, we have bicep curl and a shoulder press. So curling, turning around and pressing and back down. Getting some arm action. 3, 2, 1. Curling, then pressing, keeping our core tight so our back is flat. Our glutes are slightly engaged. As you see, as I come up above my head, my back is flat. I'm not arching here. We're staying nice and neutral. We're squeezing the biceps, bringing the weight up with our biceps, not our forearms. We want a nice loose grip here to make sure that we're not over engaging those forearms. Which I guess if you are like a rock climber or something, you might want more forearm strength, but we want to work those biceps right now. 3, 2, 1. All right, up next we have RDLs. Regular RDLs, feet shoulder width apart. And then after that, we'll get on the ground for those dead bugs. 3, 2, 1. So tucking that pelvis, pushing our hips back, squeezing the glutes all the way up. So you go until you start to feel that stretch in your hamstring, making sure that we are pushing back and squeezing on the way up. Close that door. with your butt. Keep that low back nice and flat, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Great job. Keep closing that door with your glutes. We're almost there. Keep those shoulder blades pinned together. 3, 2, 1. All right, getting on the ground, getting ready for dead bugs with that core assist. So we are going to have our arms in the air. 3, 2, 1. So hands straight above head. Extend one leg, bring it back. Exhaling as we come back to center, pressing our belly button into the ground. We want to make sure that we're using our core, not our hip flexors here. Really keeping that low back on the ground here. If you feel your back starting to come up, don't bring your legs out so far. Great job. We're almost there. And then we've got single leg lowering. 3, 2, 1. All right. We got 15 seconds. And then single leg lowering. So both the legs are going to be in the air. If you want to add the core assist to that, feel free to do so if that is available. 3, 2, 1. So feet straight in the air. Lower one leg. Exhale, back to center. We want that low back still on the ground. Keeping our feet flexed. So heels towards the ceiling, legs as straight as we can make them through the whole movement. Using the core and not the hip flexors. If you start to feel the hip flexors, take a second, really focus on the core. Great job. 3, 2, 1. Okay. We got a few seconds, and we're starting at the top with those bent over rows. All right, 3, 2, 1. It's our second round here. We got 2 more. So we got this round and 1 more. We're pulling the dumbbells towards our butt. Our back is nice and flat. Our chest is as parallel with the ground as we can make it. So it's just like we're doing RDL. Arms are straight in front, pulling towards our butt, squeezing through the armpits, or pulling with our back, feeling that contraction all the way through, squeezing our shoulder blades together. Don't forget to breathe here. Great job. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right. Up next, we got the Sumo Squats. We're going to be nice and wide base here. And then we're squeezing the glutes. 3, 2, 1. So wide stance. Toes slightly pointed out. Keeping the knees over our heels as we are at the bottom. We don't want the knees inside of our feet. Keeping those knees tracking straight out. And then squeezing the glutes. We should feel this primarily in the glutes and hamstrings here. If you're not feeling it in your glutes, slow it down. Really focus on that squeeze, pushing off the heel, big toe and little toe to stand back up. 3, 2, 1. All right, we got bicep curl into shoulder press here. Making sure we are using our biceps, not our forearms. 3, 2, 1. So a nice loose grip, curl, press, and back down. Great job. Getting some good arm work in here today. pressing movements are going to help with our shoulder strength. It's really important. Protect our shoulder joints with some strong shoulder muscles. My favorite thing to train, as you all may know. Finish strong here. 3, 2, 1. Okay, we got RDLs next. So we're going to push those hips back till we feel that stretch on our hamstrings, which are right at the back of our thighs here. Squeezing the glutes on the way up. 3, 2, 1. Slight bend in the knees. Push those hips back. If you're starting to come forward, it's going to be more low back. You might hurt yourself that way. So we want to push the hips back, squeeze, and come up. Great job, everyone. Really squeeze those glutes. Keep those shoulder blades pinned together like you're cracking an egg with your shoulder blades here. Core is staying tight so our low back is not moving. Chin is tucked. Our spine is one flat line. 3, 2, 1. All right, onto the ground. Dead bugs with the core assist. And then our single leg lowering also with the core assist. 3, 2, 1. So we're pushing our belly button into the ground, making sure our knees are not too far close to our body. Want them about 90 degrees. And 90 angles in the hips and in the knees, extending all the way out, squeezing through the core. Pretend like you have an apple sitting right here and try and crush that with your stomach muscles. We're alternating our legs, exhaling, bringing our legs back to center. 3, 2, 1. All right, we are resting. Up next, we have our single leg lowering. We're gonna alternate. We can have that core assist there as well. Engage that core a little more. 3, 2, 1. Okay, arms straight in the air, lowering one leg at a time. Exhaling, coming back up. Low back still plastered in the ground. Feet are flexed. Legs are straight through the whole movement, as straight as we can make them. Using our core, not our legs, to come back to center. Great job. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. Okay, last round, starting at the top with the bent over rows. And then we got squats. So our last round here. 3, 2, 1. Pushing those hips back like an RDL, bringing our hands towards the butt, using our back here. So we're pulling with our back, driving those elbows up, squeezing through the armpits, squeezing our shoulder blades together. Nice loose grip on those dumbbells. Make sure you're not doing what I'm doing and looking at the camera right now. We want that back flat, which includes our spine through the neck. So we need to make sure our neck is staying nice and straight. Chin is slightly tucked. 3, 2, 1. All right, up next we have sumo squats. So nice wide stance, using those glutes. Last one of these. We're almost here. 3, 2, 1. So we're squeezing the glutes on the way up. Don't forget to breathe. Be very intentful with this movement, really squeezing the glutes all the way to the top. Making sure we are using the proper muscles. If you're not feeling it where we should be in the glutes, then make sure we slow it down, really focus on that mind to muscle connection. It's great to be able to move, but we want to be able to move properly, making sure we're using the proper muscles here, getting the most out of every movement. 3, 2, 1. Okay, up next, we have bicep curl into shoulder press. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we have a nice loose grip, keeping that core tight. Great job, keep pushing. Use our arms here. Awesome job. We're almost there with the RDLs after this. And then we're on the ground. And then we're going to go ahead and get into our cool down after that. 3, 2, 1. All right, up next, RDLs. Making sure hips are moving back. Squeezing the glutes. It's all about the glutes and hamstrings. 3, 2, 1. Hands are gliding down straight across the shins, across our quads, squeezing as soon as we start to feel that stretch in the hamstring. Chin is tucked. Our whole entire back is nice and flat. Squeezing the glutes all the way to the top. Doing great. Keep pushing. 3, 2, 1. All right. On the ground for our last 2 movements. We have dead bugs with the core assist, and then we have single leg lowering. 3, 2, 1. Extending our legs, low back into the ground. Extend, exhale, crush that apple. Our low back plastered into the ground. Push that belly button towards the floor. Exhaling as we come up. Really focus on using our core and not the hip flexors. Awesome. We're almost there. 3, 2, 1. All right. We got 15 seconds, and then we got the single leg lowering. And then we'll go ahead and do our cool down. 3, 2, 1. All right. Legs in the air. Keep them as straight as we can. Still using the core. Exhaling to bring our legs back up. Crush that elbow with your core. Don't use your legs. Using your legs makes it easier on the core. Really want to make sure we're training that core properly. Great job. We are almost there. 3, 2, 1. We are done with this circuit for today. Great job, y'all. Get some water if you need it. Ooh, I'm gonna spill over. Then we're gonna go ahead and lay on our backs for our cool down. Well, we'll be on our backs to start. So we're gonna start with the bent knee hamstring stretch. So we're gonna lay on our backs here. And we're gonna have My left leg is going to stay flat on the ground. My right leg, I'm going to bend my knee. I'm going to interlace my fingers right behind my kneecap here. Foot is down. So what we're going to do is we're going to squeeze the quad. So squeeze in the front of your leg. You're going to extend your leg all the way up, heel towards the ceiling. Hold for a few, squeeze the quad back down. So we're actively squeezing the quad, and that's going to help us release our hamstrings a little bit more after the bent over rows, the RDLs, and our sumo squats. Our hamstrings are probably feeling it a little bit today. And let's go ahead and do one more here, extending, squeezing, holding for a second, and back down. Great job. Once we're done with that leg, we're gonna do the same thing on the other leg. So interlacing your fingers behind your knee, and we're squeezing the quad, extending, heel towards the ceiling, and back down. So we're actively stretching out our hamstrings here by squeezing the quad. That's gonna help us release the hamstring a little bit. Awesome. Let's go ahead and do one more wherever we're at. Awesome. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to stretch out the backs of our hips. So we can go ahead and cross our ankle over our knee. And if that's a good stretch, go ahead and stay there. You can interlace your finger and grab either behind the knee or in front of the shin. We're going to breathe nice and deep into the belly, pulling that knee close to our chest as we can. Feeling that stretch on the outside of our hip here. And let's go and do one more big inhale. Slowly exhaling. You can gently release that foot to the ground and do the same thing on the other side. So my left ankle is going to come across my right knee. And if that feels like a good stretch, go ahead and stay there. Or you can go ahead and interlace your fingers and grab either behind your knee or in front of that shin and pull that knee towards the chest as we slow our breathing down. Nice. Big deep inhales into the chest through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Let's go ahead and do one more big inhale here. Slowly exhaling. You can gently release that foot to the ground. And we can roll onto your side. And we're going to finish out in standing here. So last thing we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and interlace our fingers behind our back. Push those knuckles towards the ground, pulling apart at the same time. So we get that stretch through the chest, through the shoulders, pulling your hands apart, pushing your knuckles down into the ground at the same time. Big inhale, slowly exhaling. We're going to do one more deep breath here. We can gently release those hands. And that is going to be all the time I have for this week's total body strength class. So thank you for joining me. Don't forget, we do have 2 stretch breaks today, one at 11 and one at 2:30, both with Louise. We do also have exercise with Exos today at 12, as well as abs and core and mobility at 4:30 with Brittany. So we got a lot of classes coming up today. We've got some classes tomorrow. So don't forget to sign up for their blood drive, as well as Design to Run. And thank you for joining me. Great job. I hope you both enjoy the rest of your Thursday.